So thank you very much, guys, for joining the webinar. My name is Motasem Oda. You can call me Mo. Everybody here in scandiweb calls me Mo. I'm a business developer that I have been working with scandiweb for about 2 years right now. My background as a person, I come from an extensive corporate background. I came from Accenture and I joined scandiweb about a couple of years ago. And what business development is just a role that is a combination of sales, solution architect, project management, estimates, and also delivery as well. So we're not only entitled around sales, but we go deep into solutions to provide proposals and create estimates for projects that we deliver, etc. So today I want to talk to you about this trendy theme that has been going on for a while. And it's a fast growing theme that we actually saw this huge trend that came in 2021, around August 2021, for this new Alpine JS driven theme that you can basically use on Magento. You can install it directly on Magento and you can achieve fast, website and basically green core web vitals and green page speed scores. So this theme have seen quite a lot of installations. So let's talk about this theme. What is Hyvä? So Hyvä itself it's a kind of brand. Well, right now it's not a brand new Magento theme, but still kind of a brand new Magento front end built from scratch using the Magento templating system, but written entirely from the ground up. It's not a decoupled application like a PWA solution that you don't need to have a service worker that actually works as a file to transmit requests between the backend and the front end. It's just as easy as install and go theme. It offers all the tools that Magento developers already know, like layout XML, blocks, like it has view models and of course PHTML, but without the parts that they don't like, because we know the developers, like they don't like UI components, knockout, require JS and CSS. So kind of strips out all the things that, requires dev time to have. So this theme itself was built as a result of basically a complex existing Magento theme, which was the Luma theme, and which is focused on performance, reducing complexity. You get faster web shop while saving development hours on customizations. So we will talk a little bit about that and how you can actually save development hours on your customizations, and also how it is growing in the market itself. Because right now, if you guys noticed, for the developers, that you can see like big companies like Amnesty or BSS Commerce, and under their extensions, you can see the little Hyvä badge. So their extensions are becoming more and more compatible with Hyvä. So basically, it's a more or less, I wouldn't call it, it's a plug and play, but it's I would say 95 to 96% that will come compatible with the Hyvä theme. So like I said, statistically speaking, according to builtwith.com, the Hyvä theme usage started to become very active around 2021. And then it picked up very rapidly in the past year and also this year. And as you can see that their installations are going up, and they're going actually quite rapidly. So this has been a good increase in the installations. We're one of the companies that actually have been working with Hyvä for a little while, since it actually came out. And we are a Hyvä certified partner, and we do have quite a good number of projects in the pipeline that we work on. Plus we have projects that we are in planning to work on with Hyvä, and we have also launched a number of projects on Hyvä. I have included two examples of what we have currently. One of the best examples that we have in this webinar, I will walk you through those two clients or two projects that what we did for them. But when you go to our website, You can review our case studies. Some of our case studies, you can see the Hyvä badge underneath it, and you can read about what we did for that specific client. So what are the benefits? So there's something that is very interesting about Hyvä. And talking about the benefits of Hyvä, the first thing that we think about when we talk about Hyvä as a theme is the website's speed and performance. We already mentioned this one, but why is it important? Why do we actually, say that the website needs to be fast? Why do we need to achieve Green Core Web Vitals? Why do we have to have a very fast reaching to a checkout experience? There are many reasons why we think like that. It's because a strong page speed score has SEO benefits, just as simple as that. It is something that Google takes into account when ranking sites. Search engines, they favor faster performing sites if you want higher organic visibility. Then you need a fast performing website. It's just as simple as that. If you want high organic visibility on the Google results, you have to get a fast performing website. The second thing is that a fast loading site will improve your user retention. And on top of that, it will also improve your user conversion. So we know that 1 second delay in page speed score can trigger a 16% decrease in customer satisfaction. There's a study about that. I'm happy to share with that study later on. We can publish it somewhere so you can guys see it, but think of it like this: in customer satisfaction. Now imagine if your website is 2 or 3 seconds, has a 2 or 3 seconds delay. So imagine how customers won't be satisfied about the website. So this is one of the main things why Hyvä is been getting a lot of attraction from the website itself. It's because it works like a theme. It is a fast and has a high performance, relatively higher than other themes out there that work on Magento, like Luma, for example. And on top of that, the second that we want to talk about is that it has a reduced time to market and it has a reduced cost, because the way the Hyvä theme was created, it has this thing called gradual implementation in your website, meaning that if you want to take the Hyvä theme and you install it on your Magento, for example, you don't need to apply it on the whole of the website, on all of your website. You don't have to click, activate for all of the pages and then start working, creating a revolution in your website. On the other hand, there's a fallback mechanism that allows you basically to go to the homepage, for example, and apply the theme or switch. There's a switch between either Hyvä or Luma or whatever other theme you're running on the website. So that fallback mechanism gives you the advantage of staying in market and developing as you go. So we have a number of converting pages like PLP, PDP, we have product listing, product detail page, we have the homepage. With Hyvä, we can take each one separately, optimize it, launch it live, and then we can take the other one, optimize it, launch it live, and etc. So it is site performance. It helps a lot with keeping the site consistent and keeping also the architecture of the website quite intact and simple at the same time. So it massively reduces the time and costs. It just in a nutshell, talking about it. So there is a fast growing extensions library. So there's more than 140 extensions library. If you remember, guys, back in the day when we had PWA, everybody had their own extensions compatibility, and then we have to have our own marketplace. And if you want to download the PWA compatible extension, you have to go to our own marketplace, and you can find it in there. With Hyvä, it's a little bit different. Now you can find it on other marketplaces like an Amnesty, BSS Commerce, SmartSuite, all of the other partners that actually work with the Hyvä theme itself. So this is something also good for the community and good for the developers, because you can easily just if you don't like one extension provider, you can just switch to another extension provider, but it still works on the same theme. So this is something that is also good to have. Talking about, the developer's experience, because this is the most important thing, because the theme itself, if we talk about it, it was built with a focus on having it running on Alpine.js. Alpine.js, for the guys that know what it is, it's a pretty powerful front-end library. It allows users to write responsive interfaces in decorative mode. It's a minified, basically, JavaScript library. So it's a minified, fast JavaScript, library, and it actually it has like typically is used to make static HTML templates interactive by augmenting and enhancing the HTML syntax, by a new directive and JavaScript injection. It's just easy to work with. The library renders very fast. For those of you guys who know what Alpine.js is, it's really nice to go check it out and see how it actually works. So this is one of the main players of the Hyvä theme itself. So moving on forward, how does it work? We talked about how the gradual implementation works. So we talked about the fallback mechanism and how it does allow us to implement the theme that is already based on the correct and modern code base. It's optimized for Google, it meets modern requirements, and it's gradually improving all the areas template by template. What is very good about Hyvä as well, that we found out when we were delivering our projects, Hyvä could be an excellent base for a project or for a client that has multiple brands. So we're talking about, for example, a client that comes into you as an agency, and this client has not one website, not two websites, but they have like 18 or 20 different websites that are somehow identical but different at the same time. So Hyvä can be actually a good fast base that you can implement in your website. You have a page builder that can be compatible with Hyvä at the moment. You can create your own library, and you can just simply recreate multiple websites that are, green core web vitals, fast on Google. Google Insights gives you all the thumbs up, and you can have SEO friendly websites. So this is also another thing that you can utilize, not page by page, but you can also have it as a base for multiple websites or for the website itself. Again, talking about how it works. So like we said, it's a second theme that is implemented, choosing the right template, choosing the right design, and applying it for that specific template. This is something that actually what figures it from PWA websites. Or other solutions out there. If we take, for example, PWA, if you want to implement the PWA design on let's take for any client, right? PWA technology, we want to implement the PWA theme, we'll have to have a full scope of the whole website, including the checkout, including the non-conversional pages, like the cart, for example, or success pages, or some CMS pages that don't drive a lot of traffic. So as a client, or as a merchant, you are forced to spend money on making those pages compatible with PWA, because it's a whole solution that you build for the whole website. So this is what also makes it a little bit different. So like we said. So there are also additional benefits that you get from Hyvä. Always better SEO rankings, always increased organic search and engine traffic. There's always an improved user experience with faster loading speeds. Out of the box, when you install Hyvä on your website, it scores 100% out of 100% or 99% out of 99%. So the thing about Hyvä is that unlike other themes out there, when you install Luma or other themes, you start from the ground up. So you start with lower page speed scores, and you start basically running your performance optimizations. You start working on minifying your CSS, or probably you check your requests in the header, or moving files around your template so you can reach to a good level. Unlike Hyvä, you're starting from top. So you're starting from 99% or 98%, or let's call it 95%. So let's be humble and call it 95%. So you start from a top score, and then when you add your functionality, it depends on how you add your functionality to your template, how your score actually goes down into. Some of the projects that we have, it does have complete good core web vitals, and I'll be more than happy actually to later show you how we achieved that. And this is also one thing that Hyvä has a good advantage here for the developers. You don't need to be worried about having 30 mobile score, you know, or on desktop like a 50, and then you start building things up to make it like 80 or 90 or 70. So that's also a good benefit. So the thing that also want to continue with is that Hyvä also recently created or came up with a Hyvä UI. So what Hyvä UI is, it is a component library, much like, you know, tailwindow.com. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It offers out-of-the-box elements to be based in your Hyvä theme. So it's a well-designed kind of super modular component that can be plugged into your Hyvä theme itself just by copying and pasting files into your project. Currently, the UI library has about 36 components, and it is actually developing. But there's many more coming underway, and the Hyvä team is actually working on creating more and more components. What is so interesting about this is that the UI components are fully functional PHTML files and ready for implementation. Just copy and paste the code and you're good to go. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on, you know, making sure that it goes correct between your tags, or you need to add extra styling to it. Of course, if there's a design that comes related to this component, you have to style it, but out of the box, when you copy it and paste it for beginner developers, it should work, and it will work as it should. So there's no issue or whatsoever out there. So far, there are, like I said, 36 components. This is a new product also that came out from the Hyvä UI. It is a good way to have as a base, you know, for several projects, or for your project as well, to build, let's say, fast product pages, or to build, let's say, fast menus. So you want to have a very fast, good header that you want to have that is very quick. There's a component that actually built by Hyvä for that. There's a menu component that Hyvä came up with that you can actually, you know, utilize itself. Just copy and paste, and it will work. There are several shortcuts. There's a footer that came with the components itself, generic content for CMS pages that you want to build for your Magento. Another thing that also came up through this component library that you can just, you know, copy and paste and have it like to have a little bit stylish, you know, a little bit different, you know, deviating away from the out of the box Hyvä. So moving on forward, let me just, okay. So another thing that we want to talk about so we talked about the Hyvä UI. We want to talk about another product that actually came in recently, which is Hyvä Enterprise. Now, I know that when we deliver projects for Magento merchants, you know, some of those projects are B2B projects. They're not necessarily a B2C projects, but we have a business-to-business project that we deliver. In the beginning, when we were delivering those projects, we had to make some core B2B features to be compatible with Hyvä. So Hyvä listened to our requests and demands, and what they did basically is that they created a dedicated product geared towards Adobe Commerce, BTB, and Adobe Sensei. There's a rollout plan at the moment that is happening. It's planned to be rolled out soon. And the main thing about this is that when the rolling out will happen, there's no production websites will be harmed in the making. So there won't be any affected, your websites won't go down when you update the theme. So it should work out of the box. So this is just a, let's say, an in progress, and it has been recently introduced, and it will be rolled out very, very soon. So there's a rollout plan. You can visit the website and understand when it will be firstly rolled out, but it's a good calling that came from Hyvä part, that it supports Adobe Commerce and B2B features. This is something that we as an agency, as scandiweb, we were you know, having kind of like a challenge to make some of the B2B features that to make it compatible. I will answer all the questions, but let's have it till the end of the meeting. So yeah, how can a Hyvä project be delivered? So we talked about what Hyvä is, and on a high level. If you guys want to have a more detailed explanation on how Alpine.js work or how CSS works, I'm more than happy to you know, publish something, and maybe we could publish something on scandiweb part to walk you through how to implement Hyvä also on a technical level. We do have a very good article on our website that we will also make sure that you guys know about this article, which is basically how to work with Hyvä. So this was actually published by one of our senior engineers on the scandiweb website. So how can a Hyvä project be delivered? I would just want to give you kind of a sneak peek of how an agency can deliver a Hyvä project. So an agency can deliver a Hyvä project like any other project out there. We start with a discovery. We start with a simple, you know, discovery or a complex discovery, basically identifying what are the extensions, what are the functionalities that are touching the front end, how those functionalities work at the moment on the front end, and do those functionalities really need to be compatible with Hyvä or not? After the technical discovery, and we're understanding all that list of extensions and functionalities that we will be performing, we'll be making sure that they will work with Hyvä, we'll make the decision, okay, Hyvä is the technology we want to go with. And then later on, we start from a brand new theme to be installed on a specific template, or we can install it on the whole website. Now, because we're working with a Hyvä project, there's no data migration or backend that is needed as such. We don't really touch the backend functionality. So it's a pure front-end functionality. However, there's one thing to be taken into consideration. When a Hyvä theme is applied to your website, basically, what we need to take care of is the analytics part and SEO part. We need to make sure that all events are tracking properly. We have to see that if the tracking scripts are implemented. We need to see from the SEO perspective that we have all the meta titles and descriptions are there. Everything's running as it's supposed to go. So it is a step-by-step. So it is a step-by-step approach, and it does require discovery in the beginning. However, that discovery is either big or small depending on which templates you want to optimize and how many functionalities do you have on a website, and how many basically extensions as well. We have come across clients at scandiweb that they do have clients with let's say more than 40 extensions installed on their Magento. And we have had some challenges that we do actually need to get rid of all of the extensions and just use our Magento out of the box functionality. So we do have some clients in the pipeline that we actually have been dealing with like that. This is kind of an example of one specific client that actually came to us, and they had a website that was running on HubSpot. So they have a website that is, the main was running on HubSpot, and then they have their product pages on Magento. So as a user, I come in, boom, I land, I see in a HubSpot page. Okay, this is HubSpot. It looks beautiful. It looks good. When you go to buy the product, you land on a Luma theme that is not really optimized. The BDP page, the product detail page was a little bit slow, and the design wasn't there. So because of Hyvä and what we can do with it, on the same Magento installation, what we did is just we installed Hyvä, we ran our discovery time with them. We installed the Hyvä, we understood what extensions are actually touching the front end, and we started with the homepage. So we said, okay, instead of the homepage currently is running on HubSpot. We want that homepage to be running on Hyvä. We applied Hyvä to the homepage, and then we have a product list to be applied on Hyvä, and then we have also the Magento product itself. We applied it on Hyvä. Now, thanks to Hyvä, because we have a flexible checkout, we kept the checkout on Luma. The reason why often what we see in scandiweb is that keeping the checkout on Luma could be better than having it on Hyvä is because the amount of customization sometimes that is put inside the checkout could be costly for a merchant to have, for example. So we can be having some let's say some merchants that don't want to spend a huge budget on purchasing the Hyvä checkout and having the Hyvä checkout working because they have some customizations on the checkout, like shipping customizations, some integrations with taxes that is not compatible with Hyvä. So thanks to that, we can easily keep the Luma checkout running on there. So this is how good it is. This is how flexible the site is. Yeah, the approach is very straightforward. It's just a brand new theme. It's just from scratch using a completely clean code. Two dependencies we have when we install that theme. We have Tailwind CSS and Alpine JS, and it's you can guys go through it and understand how it works and how Alpine JS works. And we built it with the purpose to lower dependencies as much as possible to third-party libraries. And yeah, so this is how we took the approach for building this the website for the client. We just stripped out as much as extensions as we can, and we took the homepage, we took the product list, the product detail page. We also changed the flow of the website because we had to have two different systems working hand in hand. We had HubSpot and we had Magento and Hyvä working on there. So we had some sync that we need to do between both of those systems. Nevertheless, we kind of like successfully managed to have these pages running. Of course, we kept the checkout on Luma thanks to Hyvä not actually limiting you or like locking you into technically locking you into having the checkout as part of the whole theme. So yeah, so we have a number of clients that we currently are using or utilizing Hyvä. So JYSK Canada is one of the clients that we have currently utilizing as Hyvä. And we started, supporting them, and then we evolved into actually rebuilding, parts of the websites using Hyvä themes. You're more than welcome to read more about them. JYSK Canada and JYSK Baltics, they are a leading furniture store. They're well known here in the Baltics, in the Latvia and Lithuania and in Estonia. They're also well known in Canada as well. So we've been working with them for a while, and with the help of Hyvä, we were just attacking pages by templates for them. There's another client that we work with and we started working with a while back. It's called Ladarach. What's so unique about this client is that they have a very interesting product. They're a chocolate manufacturing company. I know maybe perhaps you guys are familiar with the product. Is that we had a conversion-driven redesign and performance improvement. So we had our CRO team to go into the website and to make sure that all of the templates that are needing to be optimized are data-driven. After that, when we produced the wireframes, we took those templates, template by template, and we applied the Hyvä theme to it. And now currently the website is live. We have a lot more. We have a lot more clients that we actually have launched Hyvä on. Some of those clients that we have, you can see them in our case studies, but we can say that airthings.com is one of our clients that we recently rushed on Hyvä. We have Big Macs, that is a client also from Sweden. We have the homepage that is optimized at the moment for them. It's been pretty good working with them so far. And we also have a number of clients, like a good number of clients that we currently have in the pipeline that we work with Hyvä at the moment. So that's, in a nutshell, what Hyvä is and how Hyvä works. Any question, guys? Okay, so, well, this minute, thank you for answering asking the question. So the minimum scores that we will provide for a new website on Hyvä. So let's think of it like this. If we're saying that we're just installing the theme and expecting the theme to work out of the box, we're providing the same scores that the Hyvä website is providing. If we just install the theme and the theme will work out of the box. Now, it depends on what functionality you want to add, because when you install extensions that added JavaScript, that added code to your template, will decrease the score. I mean, we do have scores that we currently are reaching Green Core Web Vitals, like above 80 on Google Insights, but it also depends. It always depends on your score, on how many functionalities you have. This is the reason why we start with a discovery when we deliver any projects, not only a Hyvä project. Yes. Yeah, actually, it is a setting in the backend. It's just as simple as just two different themes. How can you switch between them? Just two different themes. You go to the, for example, let's say the homepage, click on it. There's a setting there, and you can just easily switch between either it's Luma or whatever theme, and you can have a Hyvä theme itself. I will be more than happy, guys, to also kind of answer more questions after this webinar. We will have also some time for us. We will kind of we will post an article. You can guys interact with the article, and I'll be there. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you want to know more about Hyvä. But at the moment, the way we see is that Hyvä has been rapidly growing, and it has been seeing a lot of clients that are coming from experiences like Luma and PWA. They want to implement Hyvä instead. So the video from the webinar will be actually shared right after the webinar. Our admins will share it with you guys. We'll be more than happy to give that to you. So the admins will actually post the video. Yeah, it will be posted on YouTube this week. All right, you guys. I would like to say thank you very much. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, motassem.oda@scandiweb.com. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have about Hyvä. If you want to book time with me to go deeper into how it works, also more than happy to answer any questions, or you can also reach to inquiries to info@scandiweb.com. This is also another thing that you can also post your questions in there. And thank you very much, guys. And please enjoy the good summer out there. Hopefully that you guys are going to go to the beach after this, and have a great day.